Hello, Scorpio, and welcome. I'm Adriana. I'm a soul guidance coach, and I help you choose growth and the healing of your inner roots. I have an intuitive message for you today. Let's go ahead and get started. This reading will look at your inner world and the outer world, your outer world, as well as the interaction between the inner and the outer world. Okay, now we've got the Eight of Roots over here, Eight of Horns or Cups, Son of Feathers, and Eight of Thoughts, Eight of Arrows, Eight of Swords. Okay, now interesting, just visually looking at this seems like our outlier. Eight of Swords doesn't really belong there. The other cards kind of feel better together. This one feels like an outlier. Now, this is really significant, Scorpio. We've got 888. And yesterday, not only did I see 777 on a license plate, about 5 minutes later, I saw 888. So this has a strong message for, I believe, both of us. But, and if you're returning, you know what I've said about me being an honorary Scorpio, but I really want to tap into this energy for you right now. Guys want me to start on the left. My left or their left? My left. Okay. Eight of Roots. Now this energy talks about appreciating interconnectedness, appreciating how everything works together in a particular kind of order. But the Eight of Roots is also kind of a more, I want to say, a traditional energy rather than innovative. It's not an energy that invites change. It's an energy that invites sustainability, that you can keep going with this situation, with this energy, and it will keep producing more and more and more. This idea of a hive nurturing roots, nurturing plants, nurturing the air, nurturing trees, all of that, they're connected together. If we remove one of these elements, then the whole system dies. So that's what I mean about sustainability. And it's understanding that in your world, there is an interconnectedness to everything. Everything has a special meaning and a special purpose. 888 is 24, which is the number of 6. So it's vibrating at the it's vibrating at the vibration of harmony, of balance. And harmony means everything in the right place at the right time. So that is very much a part of your environment. Now, there is a feeling, though, that you don't want that, this Eight of Swords oppression. That you feel sometimes that you're a fish out of water. We have a hawk and a blue, we've got a series of blue jays, 2 different species, and not having a great time together. You can definitely see that in this card. You don't understand this. You sometimes feel at a loss to understand, how do you fit into this space? How do you fit into this environment? And the mind, your thoughts tend to take you to a place where you interpret the fact that you can't fit in as somehow you're being suppressed. Somehow then this environment is against you, that these other people are against you. When the reality is there's a reason, there's a logical reason, and one feeds another. Even if you don't like where you are, even if you don't like your job, even if you don't like a certain person you have to see all the time, there is a divine purpose for them being in your life and for your being where you are. There is a divine order to that. And if you remove either yourself or that person from the environment, the whole environment collapses. But more than that, you also lose those other things which are sustaining you. So like I said, this card to me seems like it doesn't fit. But I'm noticing something interesting. There's a clearing at the top of this card, which is referring to the whiteness in the background here. So I just want to see, are you talking about a way out? Why is that clearing there? So that's interesting. Understanding the interconnectedness of yourself and your environment is the way out, rather than fighting it or trying to wish it were something else or complaining about it or all those other things. Understanding it, appreciating, seeing all those connections, that allows you to transcend it. And now we're ready to move on to the inner cards. 8 of Cups and the Sun of Feathers. I really, really enjoy the Sun of Feathers card. And I think it's so appropriate and amazing to have in a Scorpio reading because it's about transformation and transformation through fire, which is so Scorpio. And you can even see we're transforming from a white bird into a black one, being burned by the flames. And Phoenix energy is that higher octave of Scorpio, and that's all about being burned by the flames. So what I feel has happened is the minute you surrender to the fact that you are supposed to be where you are, everything is fitting together, everything is nourishing each other, you fly through that opening. You suddenly get through that opening in the trees, that clearing, and you're here. You're in the sky and you're suddenly finding yourself in an adventure that is transformative, not only for you, but for everyone else. The minute you stop fighting that environment, you find yourself suddenly transforming and changing. And you're becoming someone that is totally opposite to the person you were before. So let me just get a hold of this because this is a little complicated. The way you thought you fit into your environment before, the way that you thought this was, actually turns out to be completely different. So this is so complicated, Scorpio, because we've got multiple stories happening at once. So if at any point you get lost, let me know in the comments. I'll see what I can do. Okay, so let's back up. You see yourself, when you stop fighting, you see yourself as an integral part of this landscape, of this environment. The minute you surrender and you accept that, you're allowed to go through the clearing and you go on this transformative adventure where you become something else, but suddenly you're fitting into the puzzle in a different way. So whereas before maybe you thought of yourself as one of these bees, but actually it turns out that maybe you're one of the roots, or maybe you're not even that, maybe you're a tree. It turns out that you nurture your environment and you engage in your environment in a completely different way than what you thought. So if we think of the change from being a completely white bird to a black one, what does that mean? That means in the daytime, the dark bird is going to stand out, but in the night, it's a camouflage. It also means that it has access to those realms of magic and mystery, and the white bird doesn't so much. The white bird lives in a different place. But it's a complete opposite of where you thought you were, complete opposite of where you thought you were going. And because of that, you are allowed to leave and get yourself to your next phase. Now, because this is happening on the inside, the departure, it may eventually express itself as a physical departure, but at the moment, it's more of a soul-felt permission to depart from the way you hold yourself, the esteem that you hold yourself, the picture you have of yourself, kind of the way you, the status, the way you sit, the way you fit in to where you are. It allows you to say, okay, I've completed that phase and I'm moving on. And that gives you the grace to move through this environment in a very different way. And now my guides seem to be drawing me to talk to you about the idea of reincarnation, that we're all reincarnating at different phases of our journey. Some of us are just starting and some of us are, I don't know, in the middle, towards the end. You really don't know unless you're on the other side. But this allows you to progress to a different phase of your journey. And then you'll start to look and have a better idea of actually, you have a better idea of where you're supposed to be going. You have a better sense of direction because you now understand what your identity is within this environment. It's as though you came in as one thing, a bee, but then you left a tree. Okay, those are two very different animals. Again, the white crow versus the black crow. Okay, I'm really fascinated by this reading, and I could probably talk to you about it all day, but let's draw one more card for you, because I'm sure you have other things to do too. We've got the Three of Arrows, mourning. Now, what's really interesting is, look, all of those eights, the birds that were bothering you before, these, how many are there? 4 blue jays, and now we've got blue jays mourning the loss of someone. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, we've got 6 of them. Okay, and one of them has died. So I think this is really a good sign, actually, strangely, because it means that those thoughts, the things that were bothering you, that you thought were so true and that you were like, this is my truth, everything that was causing you to fight and complain about being here is now dead. It's now gone. It's finished. Okay? And it's saying that it's all right to be done with that. I want to ask why they gave us this idea of mourning. Okay, mourning is part of the grieving process. Yes. Why is it relevant, and how does it tie into the 8 of Horns? Sorry, I'm talking to my guides here. That in order for you to fully depart, then there will be a little moment of mourning yourself. And if you feel like you have been through this process, that, okay, yeah, I thought I was one thing, I realized I was a different thing, but you still find yourself fighting at times, you still find yourself complaining, this signifies to me that the mourning for that old self that died is incomplete. That it just hasn't, the door's not completely shut on that old persona. So this is asking you to be okay with shutting the door. This is asking you to be okay with taking the time to mourn. And this is being okay with taking the time to move on, because this whole reading is incredibly powerful, deep, and meaningful, and it comes full circle. The cards are just amazing for you. The triple eights, as well as the blue jay correlation between these two cards, that's really just amazing. So, powerful message, Scorpio, as we would expect. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. If you'd like to share anything about your journey or anything else, comments are always very welcome. If you'd like to learn more about me, what I do, and how I can help you get to that next level of depth or get through perhaps the stage you find yourself in, please check out the description below. It will have more information for you on that. If you have been trying to sign up for my newsletter through the website and you haven't been able to, I just fixed the glitch 2 days ago, so that'll work for you now. So I look forward to seeing you right here, Scorpio, next time. Have a good week.